Okay, hey guys, what's up? Evilzombie here. So today I'm going to be going over Genesis chapter 5, Adam's descendants to Noah. So this is not too long of a chapter, but let's have some fun. Let's go into this and then we'll just study a little bit about it and talk about it. So this is the book of the generations of Adam. When God created man, he made him in the likeness of God. Male and female he created them, and he blessed them and named them man. When they were created, when Adam had lived 130 years, he fathered a son in his own likeness, after his image, and named him Seth. The days of Adam after he fathered Seth were 800 years, and he had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and he died. When Seth had lived 105 years, he fathered Enosh. Seth lived after he fathered Enosh 807 years, and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Seth were 912 years, and he died. When Enosh had lived 90 years, he fathered Canaan. Enosh lived after he fathered Canaan 815 years, and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Enosh were 905 years, and he died. When Canaan had lived 70 years, he fathered Mahalalel. Canaan lived after he fathered Mahalalel 840 years, and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Canaan were 910 years, and then he died. When Mahalalel had lived 65 years, he fathered Jared. Mahalalel lived after he fathered Jared 830 years, and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Mahalalel were 895 years, and he died. When Jared had lived 162 years, he fathered Enoch. Jared lived after he fathered Enoch 800 years, and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Jared were 962 years, and he died. Wait, was he older? Let me go back up to Adam. I was just curious. Oh, wow. Enoch lived a lot longer than Adam. I did not know that. That makes him the oldest one so far, right? Oh, no, that was Jared, 962 years. When Enoch had lived 65 years, he fathered Methuselah. Enoch walked with God after he fathered Methuselah 300 years, and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Enoch were 365 years. Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. When Methuselah, that's interesting, we'll come back to that. When Methuselah had lived 187 years, I can read. I don't have my glasses, but I can read. He fathered Lamech. Methuselah lived after he fathered Lamech 782 years, and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Methuselah were 969 years, and he died. That's interesting. That's a long time, 969 years. When Lamech had lived 182 years, he fathered a son, and called his name Noah, saying, out of the ground that the Lord had cursed, this one shall bring us relief from our work and from the painful toil of our hands. Lamech lived after he fathered Noah 595 years, and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Lamech were 777 years, and he died. After Noah was 500 years old, Noah fathered Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And the next chapter is actually about Noah. So this is the Noah from the ark, and he's a direct lineage to the original humans, of course. To the original people on the planet. So this is interesting. I was reading through this and noticing they live a lot longer than we do now, of course. And apparently people lived so much longer before the events of the flood. I think after that it was man's life shall be limited to 120, right? But that was a long time. Who was it that it says he was taken? One person said it said he was taken in the... Oh, wait, there we go. Enoch. As the Enoch walked with God, and he was not. That's an interesting one. So he was not found. That's what the subnote says. So apparently he was just taken up into heaven. And I think I remember my dad telling me about this before. I never actually went and looked it up. But he never technically died. So he didn't actually have... well, he had a limited number of days on Earth, but he didn't actually die. So that's interesting. So would he technically still be alive now, or would he have shed his earthly body? You know? I'm not really sure. That's interesting. And how it's going directly into Noah now. It's showing us where Noah was connected in all of this, and how long the world has been around since then. You can actually add it up and find out how old the world was before Noah, because it mentions Adam, and Adam was the first human. And people didn't exactly age before the fall of man. So maybe that's why they lived so long, because men hadn't fallen yet. That's really interesting. I'm actually very curious to... Oh, I'm a big fan of the story of Noah's Ark. Of course, it's a true story. And I'm excited to read about the Nephilim, of course, because that's like real-life giants. But that's in a different chapter. We'll get to that on a different day. But anyone who listened, thanks, and just wanted to talk a little bit about it. It's just really interesting to me. There's not much really to delve into on meanings in this one, because it's all names and years. There's not much to think about other than how long they really lived. That's a really long time. Like, do they measure years the same way we do now? And if so, that's a really ripe old age. Do they age slower than we do now? Or were they just skin and bones by the time they died at the end of their life? I don't know, but that's interesting. Comment down below what you think. I'm not an expert. I'm not a pastor. I'm just a believer, and I want to set a goal to read the Bible. So, there we go. Have a good one, guys. Thank you so much for joining me on here. Okay, bye.